Welcome all you 4th grade crazy and wild science cats and Miss McCants 4th grade classroom here at Sunset Elementary School. Mr. Yarber here to talk to you briefly and quickly about why, yes I repeat, why our seasons change because the tilt of the earth and the way it rotates around the sun. Now today I brought for you, I heard this popular game, so I invited my buddy from Fortnite to come and see you guys. Now, got some props for you. Okay, first off, this is our globe. All right, this is Miss Walker's globe. She allowed me to borrow it, but I'm going to use it as an example today. Okay, now, before we get to start talking about these things, let's talk about that rotation around the sun again. Remember, 365 days, 365 days, 1 year is how long it takes the earth to rotate around the sun. Now, on the earth, we have 2 different hemispheres. We have the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Now, if you look closely right here, this right here is the United States. We're located in the northern hemisphere, while South America is located in the southern hemisphere. That's very important because the way our earth is tilted is on its axis like this. Okay, it's tilted this way. We have our sun here, and our earth is tilted this way. Now, this affects our seasons tremendously. First, let's mention those seasons though. We got 4 of them. We got spring, summer, winter, and fall. Let's start with summer. Okay, let's start with summer. That's everybody's favorite time because we got no school. Good times to go swimming, fishing, spearfishing, all the fun stuff. And play some Fortnite if you want to. Now, let's talk about this, okay? This day, June 21st. June 21st is known as the Summer Solstice. The reason it's known as the Summer Solstice is for one very specific reason. So the way our Earth's tilted is tilted like this, okay? We have our sun. Now, our United States, let's point the United States this way. Now, you can see that while the Earth is tilted on the axis this way, the northern hemisphere is receiving more solar energy from the sun. Now, what is solar energy? Solar energy is light and heat from the sun. Now, let's take a step back and talk about the length of day. While the northern hemisphere on its axis is pointed towards the sun, we receive more daylight, longer days, and warmer temperatures because solar energy brings us heat and light. Now, on the opposite effect, let's look at places like South America. South America, which is down here, is pointed away from the sun, which means they're going to experience shorter days and cooler temperatures. Now, I'll tell you a funny story real quick. I knew this person a few years ago. We were working over the summer. She decided to go visit Australia. Problem was that she didn't know the north and southern hemisphere had 2 different climates. She goes to Australia, which is located in the southern hemisphere, spends 2 weeks in Australia, comes back to the United States with walking pneumonia because while it was summertime here, it was wintertime over there. Now let's move on to this time period known as the Autumnal Equinox. Now the Autumnal Equinox takes place on September 22nd. Okay, around September 22nd is whenever this thing takes place. Now this is also known as fall, the first day of fall. That's what we like to call it here in the United States or in South Georgia. We just call it fall, okay? But this is what happens. The way that the earth is tilted, both northern and southern hemispheres pretty much experience the same amount of solar energy, light, and temperatures throughout the day. You may have warm temperature one day, you may have cool temperature the next day. Everybody's pretty much experiencing 12 hours of day and night during the autumnal equinox. Now let's roll it forward. Let's get to what we just experienced not too long ago, since we're here in January, on December 21st. This is known as the Winter Solstice. Now what takes place at the Winter Solstice is that our Earth is rotating. Our Earth is rotating around the sun. We've got the northern hemisphere here, but what happens? We are now further away from getting solar energy from the sun. We don't get as much solar energy from the sun as what we did during our summer solstice, which means that because we're not receiving as much solar energy from the sun, we are now going to experience shorter days and cooler temperatures. Now, what do you think is going to take place in, let's think about it, South America? That's right, South America is going to experience longer days and warmer climate, warmer temperatures, because they are receiving more solar energy from the sun because of the way that the earth has rotated and moved its way around the sun is causing us, this is the sun by the way, I forgot to mention this a second ago, it's causing them to receive more daylight and solar energy. That brings us to our last one, which is known as the vernal equinox, or what we like to call it here in South Georgia, the United States, springtime. The exact same thing takes place, okay? Just like it did in the autumnal or fall, the earth experiences pretty much consistently around the globe 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of darkness. Some days may be warm, some days may be cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a quick rundown on why the seasons change due to the tilt of the earth and the rotation and orbit of the sun. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Mr. Yarber here signing off. My buddy right here. I'm going to put back on my mask. Check you later.